Hello guys, this is Harvinder Singh and today we are going to code out this typing effect on our website, and we are going to achieve this with JavaScript. You must have seen this type of websites which have this effect. Mostly people use on their portfolio website, but you can use it anywhere. And yes, definitely we are going to code this website from scratch, but if you are only interested in the JavaScript section, I will give the timestamp below and you can just go to the JavaScript section. With that said, let's get started and see you in our VS Code. Okay, so here we are in our VS Code, and we have this folder typing effect and with the image that we are going to use in our project. So with that, now let's start building this. First of all, as per the ritual, we are going to make index.html. Then we are going to have style.css. and one more app.js for our JavaScript file. So let's get started with this index.html, and let's have a boilerplate here. Okay, not one, let's have this exclamation mark and tab. That gives the boilerplate for us ready to use. Now let's quickly change the title to, what can we do? We can write this typing. Yeah, let's write typing effect because that's what I think we say that. And now typing effect, yeah, now I can also link my CSS file. Let's link my CSS file here. That is going to style.css, and let's link this okay, not caps lock, script.source, and this is going to be app.js. So I have attached the CSS file as well as the JavaScript file. Now let's get into the body of this HTML, and we only need one div here, and we are going to give this main. Let's use HTML5. Yeah, why should we use div class main when we have main? We are going to go for h1. Hey, I am suspense. What I am, I'm not going to tell you. Okay, let's add empty div here, not j1, h1, and let's give it a class of typing. So that's it. This is the thing that we need in our HTML part, and let's save this and let's open this with the live server to look what we have. And yeah, here we go. Here I am. Yes, what a beautiful website we have made till now. Wow. Okay, now let's make this beautiful, and let's get into this styling section. So here, before doing our CSS part, I would like to split my screen into half so that I can see what the mess my CSS is creating, because CSS sometimes can be really troublesome. So in this case, it helps that where you did wrong. So yeah, let's start with grabbing the global element and removing all the default margin and padding, and also give it a box sizing border box and save it. So all those default margin and padding is gone. Now we can start with styling the main section. But okay, I would like to style this main section. I would like to grab this main section with a class name. So I would give it a class name intro. So instead of just grabbing the main section, I would like to do it with the class. So now here I can style our main section. So let's start doing it with giving a height of 100 VH, and we can also give it a width of 100% so that it covers up all the space. And now let's give it a background image. We can give it a background image. I have this image in my image folder, and I will share this image with you in my GitHub link that you will find in the description, so you can get the source code as well there. And now let's save this and let's have a look how our image look. Yeah, as usual our image is disorganized and we have to organize it and we have to position it nicely. So let's do it. We are going to give it a background size, and it's going to be cover. So yes, just that one line solves our problem. So here I can see that this text is not very well coming in contrast because this is mixing with the text color is mixing with the background color. So let's give it a color white. So here is the color white. Okay, so now what we can do, okay, yeah, one thing I would like to show you here. Okay, this is the section where we are going to add our dynamic text. So let's add developer here, and we can see that it is not coming in the same line, it is occupying the second line, right? So we have to solve this. We want I am a developer and whatever you have to add in the same line. So for that we are going to give it a display flex and it will bring all our content in same line. And if you can see, there is some spacing issues here, but we can fix that easily afterward. And we are going to bring this to the center of the page of the website. So let's add here align items center, justify content center. Let's save this, and here it is at the center of the website. So now let's grab this typing class. So let's give it a space with margin left. We can bring up the space here with giving a margin here, and we can try with 5 pixel, and yes, it did work, but it's quite small space with respect to these also. We should increase it a little bit. 8 pixels. Okay, pixel I've already written 8 pixels. Let's do it with 10. Yeah, okay, now it's good, it's quite visible. So now let's give it a different color as well. I have this color copied in my clipboard, so I'm going to use this, and let's save this. Yeah, so now we are going to create a cursor here, this type of cursor. We want this cursor here, right, so that it can give us that blinking effect when we type. And so for doing that, we are going to use this after selector. And so this after selector is basically used to add content just after that div. Okay, so here is that div, and we can add content just after this div. So here we are going to use this to make our cursor. So let's do that. Content, we are not going to add any content, but we have to give this property in order this after selector to work. So moving ahead, okay, so moving ahead, now we can add a border of 2 pixels, solid, and white. Okay, this looks good. And actually we can just give the border on either of the sides. So you can give it on left side or right side, so it will be a single line. That was a double line. Okay, so that's it. Now we can also give some space here because it's like stuck with the developer. So we can give it a margin of 5 pixel, left margin of 5 pixel. So yeah, this looks good. Okay, so now we need this cursor to blink, and we are going to achieve that effect with using the keyframes animation. So let's use this keyframe and let's name this animation as blink, and 0% is going to be opacity is going to be 0, and when it is 100%, when the animation is at 100%, we need our opacity to be 1, and nothing happens because we have not added this animation here. So animation, and it's going to be blink 0.5 seconds, 5 seconds, and it can be infinite ease. So let's see. Yes, you can see this is working, and yes. So okay, so now I don't need this split screen thing, so I can just go to my full screen. Okay, so here there is a problem. I can't, there's not a, actually there's not a big problem. We just have to change the color of this developer because it's not that clear here, but here it was clear, so, and it was looking good, so I don't want to change the color of this. Let's see if we can change the position and does that work, of the position of the image. So here was this intro and background position center. Let's try this out, and yeah, to me it looks good. I don't know about you. If you don't find it good, you can just tweak around the, you can just change the color, or you can even change the background. That's up to you. We are not getting too much into this. The main thing is to develop that typing effect. So that we are going to do now with our JavaScript. So let's begin with it. Okay, so let's begin by grabbing the class where we want to create the actual typing effect. Okay, so this is the class where we want our actual typing effect to be, where we have written developer. We have written this developer just to see that if it is aligning in the same, if it is aligning in the same line or not. So now we are going to remove developer from here, and let's grab this class and name it a typing. Let's name it typing class and select that class. Document dot query selector, and let's select this typing class. Okay, yeah. So now we have the typing class. Now let's create a array of words that we would like to display in that class. So I would like to display developer. I can also display UI designer, and what else can I, okay, what else can I add? Okay, what else can I add? I am hungry, so let's add that. Okay, so you can add anything that you would like to add here, and I don't have much to add, so I have written these two things and this stupid thing here. And okay, so now we have our array. Now we would like to keep the track of these words, okay, that which word is being displayed. Okay, so we are going to initialize a variable count, and we are going to give it this value 0. Now this count is going to keep a count on these words, like if it is the first word being displayed, the second word being displayed, or the third word being displayed. Okay, now the thing is that when a word will be displayed, it is not going to be displayed the complete whole word. We are going to display it letter by letter. We are going to type out the letter by letter, like developer, we are going to display it like DEVE. Okay, so we have to keep the count of the individual letters of this word also. So we have to initialize a other count, and this is going to be letter count. We can name that letter count, and we are going to give it 0. So this letter count is going to keep the count of these individuals letter. Okay, so if you are getting confused here, then just hang on, and when we will use these things, everything will be clear. There is nothing crazy thing going on here. It's just simple DOM manipulation. Okay, so now let's define our function type. Here at first we are going to check whether our count is equals to words dot length or not. So if it is equals to word.length, that means that we have came to the end of this array and we are out of words. Okay, so we don't have words after that array. So what we are going to do is we are again going to, in this case, we are going to initialize our count again to 0 so that it can start from here again. Okay, so in this way we can create an endless loop for this word. Okay, fine. So I hope it's clear. Now moving ahead, we are going to select our current word, the word that would be displayed. So it is not at all tough to get the current word. It's pretty simple. We are just going to write words and count. So this will give us the current word. Now I told you that we are going to display the current word letter by letter. Okay, so we need the individual letters here. So what we are going to do is we are going to define letters. Okay, here I am seeing that I have not defined let here, so I have to define let here also, because we are initializing a variable here. Okay, so let letters equals to, and we are going to use a inbuilt JavaScript method, that is slice, current word dot slice. And what is this slice? So you can see here, returns a section of a string. So slice return the section of a string and it accepts two parameters. The first one is the start parameter and the last one is the second one is the end parameter. So it returns the string between those. Okay, so we are definitely going to start with 0 and we are going to end it with plus letter count. Okay, so now we have the letters as well that we would like to display. So now the only thing is that we need to display it out. So we are going to grab this typing class dot text content and we are going to display letters. Okay, one more thing we have to check in the last here is that if letters dot length is equals to current words dot length, then we have to do the same thing. We have to initialize our letter count to 0 and our count to plus. Okay, so let's save this and let's see. Okay, nothing happened. Maybe we have done something. Okay, I have not run this function only, I have just defined the function. So let's run this function. Let's save this, and okay, here we can see D. So yes, we have a D here. So Harvinder, is our function not working? Yes, it is working because it is returning us our first letter of the first word, that is D. Okay, so it's working. Now why it is not giving us our desired effect? Because this function is only here running once. Okay, so for one time when it is running, it is returning us D. Now for the next time when it will run, it will return us E. For the next time when it will run, it will return us V. Okay, so this is how it goes. So for achieving the effect that we want, we have to run this type function again and again endlessly at a particular interval, at a small time interval. Okay, so for doing this, a JavaScript function, a inbuilt JavaScript method comes into play, and that is set timeout. Now what does this do? This do the exactly same thing that we want. It run this function again and again at a particular interval. So it takes two arguments. The first argument is going to be the function that we want to run, and the second argument is going to be the time interval. Okay, so we can give here 400 milliseconds, and let's save this. I'll give a semicolon as well. Let's save this and let's have a look what we have now. Okay, so you can see that now it's working. Okay, it's giving us our desired the effect that we want. So that was it. I hope you all guys learned something, and it's not that hard. It was just a simple DOM manipulation. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section below, and yeah, that's it. I hope you learned something from the video. See you soon and have a great day ahead.